What's up, guys? It's Archer here. Welcome back to another OOTP 19 episode with the Kansas City Royals. Good to be getting back into the flow of things. Left you with a cliffhanger last time with Joe Panic and Manny Machado maybe switching teams. And here's the deal. Manny Machado, them keeping 20% of his contract, so almost $6 million this year, $6.3 million the rest of the deal each year. For Joe Panic, Roberto Osuna, and Chiteng Wang. Now, I am losing a great name, but if you look at these salaries, Roberto Osuna, $7 million, almost $8 million a year, off the books. Joe Panic, $13 million this year. So, in terms of net monetary cost for this year, it's pretty even. Now, obviously, next year we won't have Joe Panic on the books anyway, so past that, it's a little bit sketchy. But I still think it's cheap for the player that he is. And granted, he's 30, but again, how long is our window anyway? If we have to trade him again at 32, he's still under contract. We can still get some value out of him. I think it'll be okay. He's a name, but he's not a prospect. So if you're worried about that, that's not part of the valuation. The only problem is we did just trade for a third baseman. And we also already have a third baseman. So I don't really know how I'm going to work that out. But, I mean, if you have to play Manny Machado at first, that's not great, right? Because a lot of his value does come from his defense. He had a down year last year where he wouldn't have been good for anyone. That said, the year before that, that's first base worthy every day of the week. So, you know, I'm not too worried about that. He did also, I thought he had an injury last year, but no, he was just out of the lineup for rest and things like that. So, not much to attribute to it, but again, bad team having a bad season, it happens. So, I'm not too worried. I don't think he's declining. I just think that, you know, he would be better served not moving to first base, but maybe that's what he needs. If he doesn't, though, there is the possibility that we could move Fernando Tatis Jr. over to first base, because I was comparing the numbers, and he's already at or better than Rowdy Tellez at 23. And really, 6'4", 230, that's kind of getting into first base territory anyway. And when you look at, you know, yes, he does have a great arm, but his range is not that great. So, I mean, as much as someone's going to have to fit into second base, it doesn't necessarily have to be him. We can put Machado at second. We can still have our man over in the hot corner, Matt Chapman. We can also have Andrelton Simmons at shortstop, and then we can have Fernando Tatis Jr. at first. Not only is that amazing defense at every position, it's also really good hitters in every position except for shortstop, which is fine because it's a place where you can get a ton of value even though he doesn't hit. He got 4 WAR last year, not hitting. So I think we can make this work, and, you know, to go back on a saying that I think I've often come back to, talent works it out. If you have a chance to add talent, it'll work it out. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have too many players. It'll work out. Like what the Milwaukee Brewers did. They overloaded their infield. It worked out. It's okay. So, I'm going to complete this trade. I hope you guys are happy with it. I think that I am. I'm pretty sure that I'm happy with it. I had a long think about it. Obviously, I put a lot of thought into where everyone would play, all that. So I think I'm okay with everything happening. The one thing that I was a little on the fence that I didn't mention about was just trading Roberto Osuna, but if you look at his stats, he's been good. He hasn't been amazing. And, you know, he's fragile. So what else are we going to get out of him other than 50 innings a year, maybe? $7 million a year is not worth that. So Manny Machado comes on board. Now let me show you what that does to our finances, hopefully it will have updated, and it has. So we're only paying $16.7 million for Andrelton Simmons. And if you actually look at our payroll, we have a slight rise, and that is almost entirely due to Fernando Tatis Jr., because we had a non-salaried player become salaried when we traded prospects for him. So a slight rise there. Also, there was one other thing, well, just the arbitration and such, when that ticked over last episode. I know we were right up against this budget, and then we added another player. So I think we're pretty even on the finances. Sorry, he's being paid $23.4 million. I was looking at Andrelton Simmons' number. So yeah, slight increase there. Slight increase with Fernando Tatis Jr. So overall, though, still only $143 million. And if we're going for it next year, that in theory gives us $40 million to play with. So off-season center, anyone? Now, when you think about $40 million a year, that could be one Noah Syndergaard, or it could be one Shintaro Fujinami and a reliever or two, maybe. So I'm not sure exactly what direction I want to go in, to be honest with you. Yeah, exactly, almost $40 million to spend. What do you know? My math isn't as bad as I thought. Noah Syndergaard type player, I just have to wait on someone like him, which means that I'm also just going to have to keep tabs on Shintaro Fujinami. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to just kind of like monitor if a player has gotten any offers. That's not really how it works. So we could put in a banker offer and then just wait and see if anyone matches it. Or I can check in a lot. I think I'll just check in a lot. So that is a little bit risky, but I think I'm going to go with it. Syndergaard, I think it's going to be pretty clear very quickly, though, whether he gets in a bidding war or not. So I think we'll just watch him, and then we'll see where we go. I don't think that makes for great viewing, just doing that and then doing that and then doing that like every day. So I'm going to cut that out. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Again, it's kind of between like a Syndergaard. I mean, it really is. It's between Syndergaard or getting Fujinami and plus, which may just be better anyway. It's tough to say. It's hard to turn down a 4-time in a row Cy Young winner. And even though it says he's fragile, he's had 4 straight 200-inning seasons as well. His injury history is not that bad, other than what he had like in 18-19, but the past couple of years, it's not been bad at all. So maybe if we just coddle him a little in the regular season, not a big deal. I don't know, but I'm just going to have to keep checking in on him. It's either that or we get Fujinami and some relievers. We may need some relievers anyway, but I'm mostly pretty happy with how things are. Castro, Blagden, Lovelady, Bridges, Lawrence, Davey Mendez, Keller, Hudson. It could use maybe one more, but we'll have one more when we plunk one of these starting pitchers into it, if we get another starting pitcher. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about the relievers, actually. It would just be kind of like adding the super bullpen or getting Noah Syndergaard. So I'm just going to basically do what I was showing you, go day by day, make sure that nobody's put in an offer. You can tell when somebody's put in an offer usually. I'm not sure I've talked about this yet. Usually when their demands change, or usually they'll say, you know, this is what X offered me, Boston put this on the table, can you beat it, or something like that. Or they'll just say, I just received an offer that was really unexpected, but was great, and then they'll give you their demands. So you can kind of check and see if there's been a change, but it is pretty tedious. So I'm going to cut that out. I'll be back if the situation changes. Hopefully you guys think I'm headed in the right direction. I am on a bit of a caffeine binge, so if I'm making really crazy decisions, that is why. But I'll be back if the Syndergaard situation changes. See you then. So here's a problem, and one that's completely unexpected. Shintaro Fujinami has interest before there's any interest in Syndergaard. And obviously this is a team-submitted deal, $8 million a year for 5, coming out to $42 million. I think I kind of have to get in on this. I may be able to stall things out. If I could get him for like 7, teams are going to bid higher than that. So it's possible that we could just kind of... He's not going to accept this, but let me just ask. It's possible that we could just sort of inch our way into this. And then maybe Syndergaard gets interest by that time and we figure out what he's worth. But it's going to be kind of tight. Wow, he is not doing this negotiation thing, huh? What about 7-9? You'll do that? Okay. Usually they'll do a million or so less, but not in that case. So now anytime there is a negotiation, he will notify me. So I don't have to worry about him. I do have to worry about Syndergaard still. So again, I'll let you know when anything changes. As for Syndergaard, he has dropped his demands by $3 million to this point. I'm sure it can go lower than that. We'll see. For some reason, my budget has dropped. I now only have... Is that because I offered the contract to Fujinami? Maybe. I did. Okay, and a lot of things happening all at once. So, Shintaro Fujinami, he liked our contract offer. It is now the start of winter meetings, so a lot of things have been swirling around. First off, Milwaukee signed Gary Sanchez, which is kind of a huge deal, if only because traditionally the Brewers aren't huge spenders. Clearly looking to catch Pittsburgh, though. Can't blame them for that. And I think it also does kind of underscore what I was thinking, which is that sometimes smaller teams do stuff like this, which is just blow out the bank for one player or maybe 2 players on big salaries to compete for a year or 2, and then when they don't need them anymore, they bend them off or they trade them away. So I think this is still fairly realistic for us to be going after somebody like Noah Syndergaard. And really, every team is after Noah Syndergaard in real life. You know what I mean? Like, some teams obviously can't get him because he just won't even consider going there. But in this situation, I do think that every team would be putting in an offer in real life. Also, Buster Posey went back to San Francisco. I actually think this is really cool. He is going to, it seems like, unless he doesn't retire over the length of this contract, which seems pretty unlikely because it runs for 3-ish years. So I think he's going to retire a Giant, having never played for any other team. Incredible career. I think he's a no-doubt Hall of Famer in this save. Just incredible numbers across the board. For a catcher, you have to understand. For a catcher, 57 career WAR for a catcher. Really, really good. So I thought that was a cool little story. Then we also have Domingo Santana, somebody we kind of looked at but not really. Thought he might be able to play in the infield, go to the Blue Jays. So the race in the AL East continues to be crazy. Tommy Kahnle went to the Angels. Trevor Rosenthal also went to the Angels. So the Angels are building up a bit of a super bullpen, and they also added Paxton. So the Angels are totally redoing their pitching staff. Not sure if it will let them catch the Astros, but it might get them closer than they were last year. And they weren't that far off last year. With McCullers and Paxton, and some of these starters are not very good or as good as I thought they would be. But Braden Shoemake, they still have Mike Trout, Livan Soto, Jose Antonio Gomez, Kevin Maitan, all those. So, I mean, it's still there. It's pretty good. I think they'll probably get a little closer. But what you've probably been waiting for me to talk about this entire time is Noah Syndergaard. And he has gotten an offer. So his demands got all the way down to $28 million a year, which was super low, and I was really excited about the prospect of that. But the second winter meetings ticked over, which is kind of what I thought might happen. Ton of teams came in for him, and this was the bidding already went all the way up to $30 million. So I think that that's kind of fine, but it is a pretty high place to start. And if I had to guesstimate, and I do, I'd gather that he's probably going to go up to 34. That's just what I'm thinking. Now, if we can sneak some team options in here and get $1 million a year off of him, I think that would be a really strong starting point. I don't think he'll take that. Let's try for 29.5 and 1 team option. No, he's not going to do that, and he's actually going to get kind of upset and start raising his offer. So 29.5 might work. I've just only done it for 1 year. All right, well, we're just going to have to go with it. So 6 years, $182 million. Maybe not perfectly realistic for Kansas City, but again, we've been so good at managing money, and we've been a good enough team to get fans in that we do have a little bit of it to burn for a few years, not many. So it's kind of boom or bust at this point if we do go after Syndergaard. That said, we also have Fujinami coming in, so it's kind of a race between the two of them to either accept or not accept our contracts first, or get their demands outside of what our valuation is. So I'm just going to click through to the end of winter meetings. Oftentimes they'll give you an update at the end of winter meetings as well. It doesn't seem like that's happened, though. Is this a big trade? Not particularly. What about this? No. This one? No, that's pretty big. Zach Collins moves to the Mets for nothing, basically for free. Okay, good trade, Mets. Not that Collins is like spectacular, but still, he's a decent catcher with some power. Value to things. So we didn't get anything there. And since we didn't, I'm just going to come back whenever we get a really callback from either Fujinami or Syndergaard. And we'll go from here. We're kind of knife edging this a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about it as a strategy. The other thing is that I noticed Hall of Fame came up. I know that I used to do that. I just don't think there's time. This is such a huge offseason for us, and we're trying to do so many things at once. I think I'm just not going to have time to do it. If you're interested, I'm going to give you a quick look at who is up for it, and I'll just do my voting off camera. So I'm sorry if you're really excited about that. These are all the people that are up for it. Abreu, Arroyo, Beltran, Blanton, Kane, Colon, Dickey, Fielder, Franco, Giambi, Holiday, Hudson, Kent, Lackey, Lilly, Losi, Nathan, Oliver, Papelbon, Perez, Ramirez, Rodriguez, Rollins, Sheffield, Teixeira, Tejada, Uehara, Wagner, Weaver, Worth, Wolf, and Young. So those are all the people that are up for it. You could have paused it at any point, go back, look at it if you really, really are interested, but I just don't think we have time for it this episode. So I'm going to go into the future, and I will see you when we have an offer back. Well, that didn't take long. Huh. Well, okay. He just straight up signed for us for $7.9 million a year. I don't really know what to do with that. That was so unexpected. Do we have enough money to still go after Syndergaard after that happened? Because the way that it was acting was as though I could still sign both. With the current contract, I'd have $2 million left to spare. for that year. Ooh, not so sure about this. But I'm kind of at his mercy, because if he accepts the contract, he accepts the contract. I guess I could pull it, but I'd be happy with that contract. I mean, just think about Fujinami, Wright, and Syndergaard all in the same rotation. And I even talked about Justice Sheffield, who I think is a really solid young pitcher. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm not going to withdraw the offer just in case he accepts it as is, but I'll be back in case something else changes. It's looking like we're going to go super bullpen, though. Or maybe we'll just stop here, because we're getting a little iffy on the finances. I'm starting to think if we blow it all out for 1 year and we don't get it, that's maybe not the best idea. If we could stretch it out, maybe like 2 years-ish, maybe that's better. I don't know. We'll see when I get back, though. So, fingers crossed for Syndergaard, I guess. Literally as I say that. Oh my god. I hope I haven't made a cut there or made it look like I cut anything out, because literally as I said fingers crossed for Noah Syndergaard, I saw it pop up on the screen, and there was a good 4 seconds of just disbelief before it hit me. We just signed Noah Syndergaard. For the Kansas City Royals. We just signed Noah Syndergaard for the Kansas City Royals for $182 million. Oh man, we really have to win the championship. Oh my gosh, what have I done? I don't know if regret is the right word, but I am a little bit worried. I have to take somebody off the 40-man before I can even get a look at him. Just, oh my goodness. I still can't believe we just signed Noah Syndergaard. I mean, look at him. Plus stuff, plus movement, double plus control. 97, 99, still at 30 miles an hour. Double plus stamina, high work ethic. Can even sort of hit. 4 straight Cy Youngs. Sure, he's fragile, but oh my gosh. Look at his career pitching stats. He has almost 1,500 Ks already, and he basically missed 2 seasons with injuries. This is either going to be the thing that makes this series or completely wrecks it. So, yay. I've never not known what to do with myself as much as I don't know what to do with myself right now. Wow, they think Fujinami should be in the bullpen. Okay, well, that's obviously not happening. But, yeah, Dunn would come out for Fujinami. We have so many pitchers now as well. So Whitley will drop out of the rotation, which is a bit of a shame, but he's also fragile and he hasn't been that good. So as much as I think he's the top pitching prospect in the league in real life, not so much in this. Dunn's been fine, but you're probably looking at a better bullpen piece than rotation piece for a contending team. Fujinami would come 3rd in that rotation. Justice Sheffield would come 4th. Syndergaard, Wright, Fujinami, Sheffield, Trevor Oaks. Just to eat up innings, I guess. Is Dunn better? I mean, he didn't have a better season last year, so I think that spot's subject to change. But then backed up by a bullpen of Castro, Blagden, Lovelady, and Bridges. Just that foursome is the core. And then some pieces outside. Oh my gosh, that is a really good pitching staff, I think. I wonder what my bench coach would do for just lineups. So, interestingly, he's just dropped Matt Chapman from the team. That might be fair. I don't know. I don't think that's what we're going to do, though. I guess I'll do the Rule 5 draft. And then I'm kind of... I don't know. I think the episode has to end on that. And specifically has to end on this. So, sorry if this was a bit shorter than you expected, but we signed Noah Syndergaard, so sorry, not sorry. That's kind of the end of the offseason for us anyway. I think next time I'm just gonna go straight into it because Rule 5 is not really gonna matter for us. If there's anybody that I get from it, I'll show you, but I don't think I will. Is there anything else? No? Spring training? Yeah, I think we're just going to go straight into the season next time out. I think we're ready for that. So if you liked me signing Noah Syndergaard, hit the like button. Thank you guys so much again for watching the video. If you have made it to this point, I just wanted to thank all of you for watching. I don't think that I quite got the gratitude across in the last episode, but I really do appreciate each and every one of you watching these videos. The interaction with all of you and the community is really what I started doing this for, and it's why I continue to do this. You know, I remember when I started just watching OOTP videos because I loved OOTP, and I thought, wow, what an incredible group of people, and hey, maybe I could also do this too, and I have. So that has all been thanks to you, and I can't thank you guys enough for allowing me to do this and just supporting me as I do it. So again, thank you so much. I will see you guys on the next episode.